everybody. It's me, Johnny, and with me I've got DJD and Farmer.
Hey.
Hey.
Farm, you do sound quite loud, by the way. Is he loud for you? He's loud for me.
He was for me, yeah. He'll probably be loud
I haven't
but I
changed
can turn
anything.
him down. I can turn him down.
Lord.
That's
Good
fine.
Lord.
Yeah.
Hold on. How do I turn? Oh, you know what? I have him set to 200%, so probably that's me.
Yeah.
Craig, make sure you turn him down.
Apparently, when I reinstalled Windows, my brother has said the same thing. He's like, I had you at 200. Now you're like normal. So now I need to turn you down. So,
Yeah.
I don't know whatever happened. It fixed some audio codec stuff.
Yeah. So, and back there, we've got Craig. Welcome, Craig. So 2 farm episodes in a row. You know, tell me something that you're thankful for. This is our Thanksgiving episode. And
true.
I'm thankful that farm could make it 2 weeks in a row. What about you, D? What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful that he answered my message. Because not everyone does sometimes. So
yeah, I'm curious why you thought I was playing Halo.
What about you, Farm? What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful to be here. Yeah, just like you guys are thankful. I am here. I'm thankful to be able to make it 2 weeks in a row. Versus missing it 2 weeks in a row. But yeah, plenty of things. Honestly, there's too many to put on a.
No, you only get one. You only get one.
You only get one. Yeah.
You only get one, and you used it. This isn't like wish for more wishes kind of a situation. I asked you, and you answered. That's it. Next year, stay tuned for the next thing he's grateful for. I am grateful. So I was about to say another thing. So one thing that's really cool. I was just telling David right before we started. I'm playing Octopath Traveler, the first one. It's first off, it's a long game. I want to throw that out there. I've been playing it for 40 something hours. I've beat 4 of the characters' like stories, and I still have like 4 other character stories to go through. Right? Like I have been doing this for quite some time. Okay, and I just found out like next week another Octopath Traveler game is coming out.
Yeah, 0.
Yeah, Octopath Traveler 0. They're getting their naming stuff from Xbox. They went Octopath Traveler, Octopath Traveler 2, Octopath Traveler 0. That's not confusing for people.
Yes, 0. So is this
technically
going to be a prequel or something like that?
I was going to say
it is a prequel,
right?
Yeah, that would be the only thing that would make sense, unless they all of a sudden go from 360 to X. Then you're like, who knows?
Well, hang on, 360 to 1, right? And then 1 a series for no reason.
360. Well, X means 10, so
it would be funny if so we're talking about Xbox Series.
The 1X was 110.
Wouldn't it be funny if it's like the Xbox Series 2? It's like
oh my gosh, that would blow my mind. I would not be okay with that. I don't think. Oh my goodness.
They're like, here at Xbox, we're proud to present Xbox Series 2, and everybody's just groaning in the crowd.
Especially since I get why they moved the series, because they didn't want to go restart the numbering, right? Kind of like a Battlefield situation. You don't want to go back to okay, well the next one is Xbox 2. That just doesn't, especially when it's PlayStation 5. I get them switching to series, but if they switch from series again, it would be come on, you clearly don't know what you're doing now. I mean, which, to be fair, a lot of people are already asking that, but I mean,
to be fair, that seems to be a pretty normal thing that people are saying about Xbox.
Criticism.
What if actually Xbox One X actually they flip it around, and what it really means is it's the 10 and the 1, and so it's Xbox 101. That's what it really means.
Gosh,
isn't that a little trippy?
This is getting into there's a map with red strings attached to it, and they're like, you see here, you see this.
They call it the Y box next instead of the Xbox.
The millennial box, because Generation Y.
Yeah, and it's shaped like a Y. Actually, I could get behind that. I'd be good with that. Yeah.
Y2K box.
Oh my gosh.
Y2K box.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Little late.
It's a little late. No, it's not late, because that's going to be in. That's going to be popular. People are going to be talking about, man, Y2K was so cool, and it's like, what are you talking about? It's really cool to play a game though, and I know there's a sequel, and then like I didn't know that there's another game coming out, so it's like it's pretty cool to know that there's a bunch of these games coming, because I'm having a ton of fun playing them.
That's especially fun. Like you've watched, let's say you're starting a TV show or a game, and you don't have to be part of the fan club that had to wait. That's the bonus of that. You get to be a late coming fan, and then all of a sudden you get all the content right away. That I've had a few things happen to me like that, and that's handy. That's really nice. Instead of then you have to wait the next year for the next thing.
Yep. My son and I just watched Endgame like last week, and one of the things I brought up to him is I'm like, we had to wait a whole year for Endgame. We watched Infinity War, and we waited a year before we could find out what happened. And he was like, waited a week, and he was just like, can we watch it tonight? I'm like, I can't watch it tonight. I'm busy. Like, we'll watch it on Saturday, kind of a deal, And he waiting a week, he was just dying. I was like, bro, I waited a whole year. Okay.
Yeah,
you need to like relax. Yeah, you can wait a week. I actually told him, I'm like, part of me wants to make you wait a year and be like, all right, we'll come back a year.
Now, Johnny coming in with the extremes. There's no.
Yeah, like, listen, you got to wait a year, like I did, and then you'll appreciate it. Then you'll appreciate it. We're gonna rewatch. We're gonna watch Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel instead.
All the filler stuff.
That sounds like a great thing to do in like a partnership, like with a marriage or a girlfriend or something. Like watch shows like week to week, even when they're all out. Like it's just like, no, though, you have to wait.
One thing that was interesting, so Johnny watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is set before Endgame, right? And so when at the end of it and they turned to dust, he didn't know what that was. He actually didn't realize that they had been turned to dust. He was like, oh yeah, they were all just gone. And I was like, oh, interesting. Like they ran away or something. Because, dust floating away at the end of Ant-Man, we all know what that would be, but he wasn't aware. And yeah, it's crazy. But I'm happy, guys. I'm happy.
Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back.
I'm playing right now. I'm playing Octopath Traveler right now. So if you guys hear some button pushing, it's me.
I'm looking through the Xbox and Steam sales simultaneously right now, which both end, I think, December 3rd or something like that.
Is it the 3rd or the 1st? I know one of them is the 1st.
I think Steam sale must be the 1st then, because the Xbox sale is through the 3rd. But yeah, there's a lot of good games for a lot of good prices.
Did you get anything on sale?
You're not gonna like it.
What did you? Oh my god! Did you get some PlayStation games on sale?
No, I got the Edge of Fate expansion for Destiny 2.
Oh my god! What? You know what's funny is I tried to think of what it could be. I tried to think of what it could be, and I was like, oh, maybe he got like Kingdom Hearts 3, and I'm just gonna like talk crap about Kingdom Hearts 3. Somehow it's worse. Right? It's like, oh no, it's Destiny. Are you serious?
I've enjoyed Kingdom Hearts 3 from what I've played of it. I know not everyone has, but I've enjoyed it.
Listen,
you know what game on PC is a really good deal actually is Rise Son of Rome for $3.
Rise Son of Rome, like the old Xbox game?
Yeah. Still holds up pretty well. Yeah. Good game. I wish they'd made more. Yeah.
How do you do that now? Because before, wouldn't you have to like use voice commands to trigger something? How do you do that now?
You could potentially use button pushes too. You could switch that in the settings. I just thought that the voice commands were more fun. I technically still have my Xbox One and my Kinect for it, so I probably could actually still use voice commands.
It's just interesting to see like a backpedal that hard on something and like the things that it leaves behind, right?
I mean, like, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, on one hand, I respected the initial move and I felt like they should have committed to it, but it was a lot. Like, adding the Kinect, bundling that in as a forced thing and making it $100 more expensive than their like competitor, like, oof, like that's a kind of a rough sell. Like, I get why it didn't work, but I thought it was an ambitious thing, and I feel like they should have committed to it even if it didn't work. Like, I mean, because ultimately backpedaling didn't help them much, you know? Like,
right.
yeah. And like, I mean, the Kinect was a really cool idea. Like, you don't need to hold anything, you know, like the cobbled together like PlayStation VR1 or whatever with like the wands and all that and stuff. Like, I mean, like,
does anyone use any of that stuff? I guess is my question.
Yeah. Well, no, apparently, because like the PSVR 2 has been remarkably unsuccessful, actually, when it comes down to it. That's the PS5 companion. So
it
apparently
makes
not. Yeah.
a lot of things, I don't know, interesting to me because it's like, you know, voice commands and such, it seems like a good idea, but then it just hasn't been successful, right? Like, I don't know. Like,
well, the problem is too, you have to convince then you have to convince developers to use it. You have to convince developers to like input a special feature just for your version of the game. And like, it's like when you don't have the market share to really like force them to, like, I mean, like, are they gonna? Like, it's the same with actually, I would say the Kinect is probably closer to the DualSense controller than it is to PSVR, because the DualSense controller has a bunch of extra features too that like no game implements. Like, I mean, like, you know, like it just there's all kinds of really cool like things. Astrobot really takes advantage of the fact that like there's the entire controller feels haptic or whatever. Like, I mean, like there's like tension release in the triggers and everything more so than the Xbox. Like, I mean, like there's a lot of cool things with it, like between the touchpad and everything. And like no game uses anything like it because they'd have to like implement special features. Like most third-party developers just don't even bother, and I don't blame them.
I've heard that the controller is better than the Xbox controller, but then I also hear a lot of people prefer the Xbox controller or use the Xbox controller more.
Well, I love the Xbox controller primarily for two reasons. A, battery life, I think is significantly like a bigger deal. I like the fact that I don't even care. Like, I have an Elite, so I plug it in to charge it. But even with the regular one, I actually kind of like being able to swap out the batteries at a moment's notice, you know, and not have to worry about charging it. But then also the fact that like alkaline batteries last like 20 hours in a normal Xbox controller. That's wild. Okay. When everything else Microsoft does has like a battery life of like 5 minutes, it seems like.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know how they have controllers that work as well. Like whoever worked on that battery life for their controllers should obviously be working for like, you know, the rest of the engineering team too. But like, but like the PlayStation controller, because of all the additional features, I imagine, and just how intensive it runs, how much haptics and all of that probably like suck up like the battery and everything. It's kind of like if you like, you know, if you have all the lights on in your house, you use more electricity. I imagine that's kind of what's happening with this DualSense, because the DualSense controller battery life is like 2 hours, and it's like, oof, like I mean, like that's not great. Like, I mean, like
no, it's really not,
especially nowadays. Like, yeah, and you can plug it in, I guess, sure, but I mean, like I like the flexibility of being able to be wireless, especially when the latency isn't very bad, and most of the time with like the way that Xbox and PlayStation at least work with like their proprietary like connections, the latency isn't bad at all. So yeah.
Well, there's that, but then there's also, you know, people have different situations. I can't plug in a controller. I'm really far, so I would need like another, like a really long cable, and then I also have like little kids around my house, right? So like they're gonna pull on it and cause all these issues with it. So like I don't want to plug in a cable, like period.
Well,
right?
And
like
then specifically because the PlayStation controller is what it is, it also requires like a certain either grade of cable or like grade of like power to it. Because like I've found that certain cables, I don't necessarily know if it's because of what they're plugged into or whether it's the cable themselves, but it's probably a combination. I have a lot of USB-C cables, and like I think only 2 of them work with my PlayStation controller for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, and that's the other annoying thing. Like everyone like loving on USB-C and like, oh man, USB-C, USB-C. Dude, USB. They should really take the U of Universal out of USB because the amount of times I have a USB-C cable and it's like, oh no, I need, like, try to explain to your 12-year-old, I don't need this USB-C cable, I need that USB-C cable over there, right?
Sure.
How do you even do it? It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
I mean, same with HDMI too, right? Like, I mean, these are supposed to be like ubiquitous, like this is a standard or whatever, but then like things get better and they like you still have the old cables floating around and it's really difficult to differentiate because they're the same like appearance and everything. Like sometimes it'll be written on the cable, but sometimes not even that, and like
Rarely.
Yeah.
I have pointed out to my wife, I'm like, this is my nicest cable. This is the nice USB-C cable. This one right here. Look at it. Look at, like, kind of a deal.
Right.
But it doesn't. I just have to go get it myself. I can't ask someone to do it. I know which cable it is and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's.
Yeah. And I mean, like, this sounds like a ridiculous like complaint, but like when you have devices that actually need the nicer cables to even just work, like, I mean, it becomes a very real thing. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah.
That's why I have them. That's why I have like the nicer cable, because it's, necessary, not because it's fun, right? Because I need it.
Not because it's faster or whatever, or like can like carry data a little bit quicker or whatnot, or I mean, like any of that. It's because it literally needs it. It's like okay, or else it just doesn't work, and that's the problem. Yeah.
But also so like Microsoft getting into voice commands, right? With like Kinect. So the camera thing, I do get why people are uncomfortable. I mean, everyone has a cell phone with a camera pointed at them all the time, but I get it.
Sure.
But using voice commands, like it wasn't long after Kinect that like Alexa and Siri and all of those started to be used more. That being said, we should come back to how Siri sucks so bad. Like, and it's just getting worse.
Yeah.
I feel like it's getting worse. It actually can't do stuff it used to do. It's not even that like, oh, compared to ChatGPT, it's not as good. No, it's like actually just actively worse. But also, it kind of comes back to, and this is like the issue I feel with like Xbox specifically. I feel like they really could bring a feature like that back and now it would be popular. Right? But they won't do it because they have done it in the past and it wasn't popular, right? Like it didn't do well.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. Like anytime that like especially like Microsoft like proper, right? Does something and it doesn't work, they give up on it. They're like Google in that way. Or like it's just like they tried it, didn't work. Okay, let's move on. And I get it, but at the same time, like I'd love to see like them commit more like Nintendo does. Like Nintendo will do something and he'll be like, "Oh, that's stupid," but they'll go, "Oh, you just don't understand it."
No. Like, no, you'll go, "That's stupid," and then they'll go, "No, you're stupid."
yeah. And like, I mean, ultimately, when it comes down to it, they commit. And it just becomes part of like, you accept it at some point and you go, okay, well, this is actually, you know what, this is Nintendo. And then you kind of appreciate after it. It's almost like Stockholm syndrome, like, I mean, like, it's just like,
totally though. Why? So let's be real here for a minute. And maybe I'm off here, I'd be willing to take it if like I'm wrong, but the new Steam controller, the Switch controllers, the PlayStation controller, basically everybody but Xbox has some kind of gyroscopic something to do, that you can use.
Yeah.
That's Nintendo right there of, pushing that with the Switch, or not the Switch, with the Wii. Right, and pushing like motion controls. It didn't stick around the same way, but like it definitely introduced it. The long story, or like I guess cutting it short, I think of specifically like Google Glass, right, versus like in how, or HoloLens. I mean, for that matter, to bring up another Microsoft product.
Sure. Yeah.
And like with Apple Vision Pro or like the Meta glasses. And then now with Steam, with their new VR, right, trying to push people back that direction, I wonder which one of these is going to take it and how much of it is, again, like one of these companies is just pushing it, and they have like the ability to push it that hard, I wonder.
Yeah, I think it's like essentially again though, I think a part of it has to be like market share. Like I feel like if PlayStation wants to introduce a new feature that like was like ubiquitous across all their consoles and not like an optional purchase thing, that like I think that it would take, right? Or if Nintendo did as well, I think like ultimately
Which
it would
but the
take.
thing is PlayStation did introduce that feature, and it's just not taking, but it's not required, right? That's the argument.
Yeah.
It's not a required thing.
Right. Yeah. Well, no, you have a good point though too. Like I mean, like they did introduce it and it's not being used. Yeah, no, that's fair. Like even with PlayStation 5 Pro, right? Like not a lot of devs are like enhancing their systems to take advantage of that. Partly because Xbox isn't doing a mid-gen refresh, which
right.
I mean, I think honestly is probably a good move on Xbox's part because like we don't need one. Like
right.
I don't think we're
we
at
don't
all
need that.
pushing. Yeah, like that, like to make things a little bit faster to like get an abstracted like performance boost that you don't even really notice. Like I mean, like
right.
Why? Yeah, like when it's like an actual like I was never a fan of the mid-gen refreshes to begin with, but yeah. But like I mean like yeah, no, I guess no, you're right. Like I mean ultimately DualSense is capable of a lot of things and like no one takes advantage of that despite every PlayStation user having a DualSense controller. Like it's not like a specialized like premium controller that you can buy, It's like included with every console. Although I will say one of the things that made me upset was that yet again the PlayStation did not ship with a cable to charge the controller initially. They did in like later shipments, but like it was the same thing as I think it was PS3. I think did the same thing where they didn't include like a charging cable. Yeah, it's like why? Like I mean, like I get that USB-C cables are like relatively ubiquitous, but I mean like again, like we just talked about, there's good ones and bad ones, and especially when like they don't always work well. Like I mean, what the heck? Now I got one with mine, but I was also like 6 months later. Like I wasn't in that initial run, so. But like that's kind of like what the heck are we doing? I don't know. Like you should at least have like the cables to like, even if I don't need them. Like when I bought my Meta Xbox Quest 3S. Oh my gosh, that's a mouthful.
Good Lord.
Like having the USB-C cable with it, it's like, okay, well, first of all, this is a premium USB-C cable, so that's good. But also, I don't really need one because I've had to buy a bunch. But like, I mean, ultimately, like, I'm glad that I have a premium one, like tucked away in a drawer now.
Ultimately, it's nice to have another one.
Yeah.
You know who did that first was Nintendo. Like with like a 3DS, like they weren't shipping it with charging cables, even though it's like a proprietary charging cable.
Oh my gosh, that sounds awful. Oh my goodness.
Because it was like one of those, it's a refresh on the 3DS, right? And it's like they've used the same one for a long time. And there's just that assumption that like, oh yeah, well, like you guys already have them, so we're not going to ship them with it. And it's just ridiculous. Like, I don't even love that like new iPhones don't come with a charging brick. Right? They just come with like the USB-C to USB-C cable.
Yeah, actually same. Yes, I actually don't like that either. I was kind of surprised by that. Yeah.
Well, they say, it's greener, it's better for the environment.
Well, yeah,
for us
but like I mean like man, this will be a heck of a tangent. But like so one of my favorite things to get like as a fast like meal or whatever were the DiGiorno little personal pizzas, right? Like you just stick them in a microwave, you heat them up real quick.
This is a really weird tangent. Continue.
Yeah. But the problem with this is that so it used to come with a like heating thing on like the top half of the box. So you would fold it over and put the pizza on the box and heat it that way. And then like the heating sleeve or whatever, like it was like a like oh man, I don't even know how to describe it. It was like almost like aluminum foil kind of sort of. Like it would just like essentially it would like reflect the heat more, like and help cook it better or whatever, like it was just like a flat piece of like material there that would like essentially like help cook it thoroughly. they removed that to be greener, allegedly, probably to save money when it comes down to it.
Right, probably. Right,
but like,
right.
yeah, but like they claim that it was to be greener. The problem is that now you cannot microwave those pizzas and get them cooked all the way through at all. Like, I mean, like even with a nice microwave. So you literally have to use like a toaster oven or something. And like they even say that on the box, like, oh, it's better in a toaster oven. It's like not everybody has a toaster oven. Microwaves have been around for how long? And like most people have them or whatever. But like, I mean, like toaster ovens are a lot more rare or whatever, you know? I mean, like, yeah. It's just, yeah. But like that, like literally like just like removing something that like was a legitimate like necessity in terms of like actually like making it work, or at least making it work effectively, just to like save a little bit of money and claim that it's for the environment. Like, oof, like, come on.
Yeah. Well, and like it gets the boxes slimmer. There's a few of those kinds of things, but yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't love it. I don't love it personally, but
like reusable straws.
Oh, good lord!
Or the paper straws or whatever, and the steel straws. Yeah,
I think the steel straws aren't the steel straws dangerous.
People have been hurt by them. Yes,
they feel dangerous.
Yeah, I feel like you could use them as well. I feel like they belong in a John Wick movie. That's what I feel like.
Okay, so I have not seen any John Wick movies, actually.
Really? None of them? Wow.
Zero John Wick movies. When I got married, my wife doesn't really love a lot of like that kind of movie, like
sure, like hardcore action or whatever, like
hardcore action, or even like I used to really, this sounds so funny, I used to really like war movies, like World War II movies or something,
Oh sure, yeah.
And my wife doesn't really like movies like that either, and she hasn't like said anything, but I just don't watch them because of that, right?
Yeah,
like I don't have a time where we're like just separate, that I would rather watch that than not be together, kind of a deal,
right? No, that makes sense. But that's also wild because like there's.
Do you know that movie Fury?
4 John Wick movies, I think.
The Brad Pitt movie Fury.
Oh sure, yeah.
Not seen it. I've not seen it.
That's a really good one though too.
Yeah, I've not seen it because it's been out since I've gotten married, and like it's one of those things. And I really wanted to watch it, and now it feels gone forever. Another one, Hacksaw Ridge. Didn't see that one either.
Hacksaw Ridge either. And I don't have an excuse for that other than
it's with what's his name? Andrew Garfield. It's Spider-Man. Well, he's not Spider-Man in Hacksaw Ridge, but he plays Spider-Man in another movie. One of the Spider-Man movies. Actually, if you could believe it. But yeah, I've not seen it. I've not seen John Wick either. I've heard he gets mad because they killed his dog, right? That's what I've heard about the movie.
Yeah. That's essentially the plot. Yes. They make it work though in a way that like I was kind of surprised by. And like, yeah, I just like, man, like, I think.
How do they make 4 movies out of that plot though? You know what I mean? That's the thing that kind of is crazy, right? Like, how did they do that?
At some point, it begins to kind of sort of feel like, okay, you're just keeping this going because it's popular and it makes money. But at the same time, I'm okay with that just because of like, I don't know. I feel like it fills a void a little bit and like that we didn't necessarily know was there. In terms
at the same
of, like,
time, we're like Fast and Furious fans, so like,
yeah, I mean, like, I guess that's true too.
Who are we?
But
to
like,
say?
I would argue, I mean, like, I don't know. I like the Fast and Furious movies. Okay, like, I like them a lot.
No, I do too. But like, yeah, as far as being like, did we need this movie? Like, I mean, as a people, like, did this story need to be told? It can get pretty hard when you're like, we could have gone without Too Fast, Too Furious. I'll be honest. Other than they introduced, Tyrese and Ludacris into the series, like, we didn't need it.
Well, the thing is, too, they do a really good job of that, right? They do a really good job, especially in the later ones, of like drawing back on like things that like they did in previous movies that ultimately you didn't think mattered. Like,
right.
I mean, like,
right.
Like,
because
I mean,
they didn't. Because they definitely didn't matter.
They didn't at the time, and just like, I mean, like, I appreciate that for those movies. I do. That's a good way to like include everything and make it relevant, and make it matter. Like, I mean, MCU does that sometimes too. Except I would say MCU does a way worse job at it sometimes. So I mean, like,
true.
Yeah.
Man, talking about the MCU, I've been watching Jessica Jones season 3, which I never watched before. Right, I've been watching it with Chiho. How have I not? So I don't know how I skipped it, because it's awesome. It's so good. I don't want to say it's better than season 1, because I'm a big fan of season 1. I think I talked about it on this podcast. Season 1, in my opinion, is maybe perfect television, right? Like one of those seasons that is just like, in a single season, it's maybe perfect. But season 3 has been very good. Would recommend.
Exciting. I like.
I've also heard rumors that she might be in Daredevil Born Again season 2. There are rumors.
Yes, I've heard. I think I've heard confirmation that she's back as like her character.
Yeah. Well, they made
the MCU.
They made the Defenders canon. Like the Netflix MCU stuff is canon. So maybe we'll get a Colleen Wing Iron Fist in the MCU. That would be pretty
really
sweet.
Cool. Yeah.
That would be really cool. But I mean, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
This has been a meandering episode. Is there anything you would like to bring us back on topic with? Farmer came in to say hi, and then he left, and he's been gone the whole time.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there. Like, what a great way to have your 2 week in a row thing, and then he just is like, "Hey, what's up? Bye, guys."
We couldn't afford to keep him for the whole episode. Just 5 minutes.
Just a cameo.
Yeah. It's funny because I tell him not to make that joke, and then I make it. But you have any Thanksgiving plans?
So obviously we don't celebrate Thanksgiving here in Japan, and one of the things that we do is the other like Americans. Well, and it turns out to just not just be Americans, but we usually get together with some friends who are Americans, and celebrate together, right? But we also, excuse me, we also like end up inviting lots of other people, so it just turns into like a big party. But we, because Thanksgiving is not a holiday here, we do it on Saturday, not on Thursday. So this Saturday, I will be at a party in the evening, and we'll have like traditional like American Thanksgiving food, that the Americans bring. But then other people always bring stuff too, right? Like people bring like sushi and such, which is really funny to have sushi on Thanksgiving. Like it's pretty weird. But I mean, it's not bad food. Like it's nice to eat. It's just not a normal American Thanksgiving. And the that's my Thanksgiving plan. What about you, dear? Are you going home for the holidays?
Nope. But I do have the day off. The dojo is closed, so I mean, like we'll see. I don't necessarily know that like I've celebrated Thanksgiving in like a really long time at this point. But like, I don't know. It's rough just with the family spread out everywhere and everything. It's just like difficult logistically sometimes. And like, I mean, I don't know. It's just been interesting.
You want to fly to Japan and have Thanksgiving in Japan? It's like the weird.
That would be great. Thanksgiving plans ever. The problem is that like Black Friday is the day after, and I do work that day. So I mean, like,
Well, so that's an interesting thing, right? For me, like with Black Friday coming up and all that stuff, there's music gear I want to buy. There are video games on sale I want to buy. And I also like don't have money. So like
that's the rub sometimes,
And when I say I don't have money, I do have money, right? But it's just kind of like I really probably shouldn't be spending it on like frivolous stuff. Right.
Or
but
like
then you run into this
stuff,
thing,
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you run into this thing where it's like, oh, but like it is on sale. Man, it's 60% off. Final Fantasy VII, the second one, what is it? Reintegrate or whatever. It's on sale on Steam, like 60% off. Civilization 7 is on sale. Oh man, that's a really good deal. Maybe I should do it. But then it's like, man, I have so many other games I'm trying to get through and play. Maybe I should play those first before I start buying, more games.
That's my problem right now, is because like I'm seeing a lot of games that I kind of want to try or whatever. They look cool. They're on sale. And now that I have my ROG Ally and everything and my new computer, like I really should play more PC stuff. Like when it comes down to it, I have no reason not to. But like also, like I mean, like I have so many games in my backlog. Like, am I just never gonna get to those if I continue like buying new stuff? I mean, like especially like when I can barely keep up with the AAA stuff that I do buy, you know, or like the really, really like good stuff that I hear like great things about, and it's like, oh, I want to stay at least on board with that. Like even with stuff coming to Game Pass this year, it's been insane. Like I mean, like let alone like you know actually buying stuff like. I still haven't like I don't think I bought Battlefield 6 yet, but I probably will at some point. Like it's just like yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And like for me, there are other games that I really want to play, and it's like, should I like wait for that and buy them later? You know, it's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot. And like, you know, also then we get into this whole thing of my son. This is like okay. Hold on. How long have we been going? How long have we been going? Okay. So my son really deals a lot with FOMO. Right?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And this is something, especially like in video games, that they capitalize on to get you to spend money.
Right.
But my son usually spends my money, not his own money, right? Because realistically, like he doesn't get a big enough allowance to really be able to afford to buy games and stuff like that, right?
Sure.
Like he's gonna have to save up for like 3 months to buy a game, and that's if he saves 100% of his allowance, which he doesn't like to do, right? He'll want to go out and spend some of it, right? And that's what I grew up doing, sure, but like it's just really hard. So like I've been playing Octopath Traveler again. Well, now he wants to play Octopath Traveler because I've been playing it. We were playing it at the same time before, but he hasn't played it in forever, right? Like he got bored of it. He got stuck, got bored, and quit playing. And mostly he's playing like Helldivers and Fortnite, right? And so now I've been playing it. Now he wants to play it, but we don't have Game Pass anymore. We just have Core, right? Game Pass Core.
Yeah.
So now he's like, oh, I want to play the game, but he can't play the game. So we would have to buy it. Right. And I'm like, okay, well, like, actually, I would be happy to buy it for him because there is a difference between like a narrative driven game and like, you know, a game as a service type game. Right. And I want him to learn to appreciate and enjoy these story type games. Right. And we've talked about how it's a pretty big game. I've been playing for 47 hours. And I'm only like halfway through with the characters. So as far as like time and money, it's definitely worth it. But what I told him was, I was like, yeah, but I don't want to buy this game for you to not play it. Because I've actually done that a lot with him too, where like he's been like, he really wants this game. And I end up buying it for him. And then he doesn't finish it. He doesn't really play it. Right.
Yeah.
Which
to be fair, I mean,
I do it a lot. To be fair, I do that. But also, I bought the game. Right? It was my money and it's my decision. And, you know, I know you can't like measure regret, but I regret it when I look at like all these games that I haven't played. And I'm like, oh man, like I really should get through these because I keep buying new games. Right. And I don't think he feels that way about games like that. Does that make sense? He doesn't really worry about it or think about it. And I want him to start doing that. And so I don't know that I'll buy the game for him. I think, but here's the thing. If I don't buy the game for him, he's not going to buy it. Right? Like, why would he? Why would he buy? Why would he save up for 3 months and buy it when he can play Fortnite that continuously generates content? And the little dude's gotten pretty smart. I bought him a battle pass a while ago, and he saves all the V-Bucks from the battle pass and buys other battle passes. That's what he does.
Smart. Yeah.
Very smart. So he always has the battle pass. Yeah. I'm happy that he does that. But so it's hard. It's a kind of a hard decision because I would be happy to buy it again. Well, and this comes in. It's on Steam. I'm playing it on my Steam Deck, not on my Xbox. Right?
Yeah, I mean that is a rough one because like without actually investing the money yourself, like you don't necessarily feel any type of like regret for walking away from it.
Right.
You don't have that level of investment, which I think is important to like. Man, that's wild. Sorry, I'm looking at prices. But yeah.
Of what? Of
I'm
what?
back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're wrapping up. We're wrapping up.
Yeah.
Go ahead, D. Can you finish your thought? Finish your thought.
Well, no, like I mean, like, yeah, like I mean, like even with like stuff that I buy or whatever, I definitely feel more of a sense of like, oh, I need to play this. I need to at least like give it some time or something, or like use this or what have you, depending on what it is. If I actually spend the money as opposed to like someone else buying it for me, where it's like I don't necessarily feel any sort of obligation towards it, or even like any like I don't know positive lens of like I want to like this, I want to enjoy this. Like I feel like if you do spend the money, that then you do come at it more of a, gosh, I hope this was worth what I put into it. Like that, I think that's your initial framing of it, which helps a lot with like, I think, positive approach to something as opposed to like coming into it and just like not caring at all. I think that the attach rate is stronger if you have like some sort of investment. But like, I don't know necessarily how to do that with like someone who's like essentially like working off an allowance or lower income or whatever, who can't like, who ordinarily wouldn't even think about putting money towards something because like obviously like they have so little resources to invest. And that's like, like, man, how do you subsidize that in a way that makes sense without like forcing them to get like specific things? Like that's a really difficult question. I don't know how I would handle that.
Well,
because like
he needs what he needs is a job. That's what he needs.
Yeah,
he needs a job where he can make some money.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Right. Like even if he saved up his allowance, if he used 100% of his allowance, it's not enough to pay for Game Pass Ultimate.
That's one of the things where I feel like actually it's kind of a negative of the fact that a lot of entertainment in general like is kind of skewing lower and lower age-wise, but then like income obviously isn't. Income seems to be like kind of like going higher and higher age-wise in terms of like actually making enough to be able to afford the entertainment. So like I mean like it's almost like they're diverging in opposite directions, which makes it more difficult. I don't know.
Yeah. And for reference, guys, my son, maybe I need to, it's hard. So for his allowance, so Farm, do you guys do an allowance for your kids? So this is the parenting part of the podcast.
I mean, in a way, we don't like specifically, do it like monthly or anything like that, but we just have kind of our own system.
So my son, at one point, he made a comment that because I suggested that he use his own money to buy something, and he was like, I don't have money and I don't have a way to get money. So I was like, okay. So he has 2 jobs that he's supposed to do around the house. And, with kids, you have to remind them all the time. So it even freaking sucks because, like, I feel like he's not even doing it. I'm telling him to do it all the time. And I've even talked to him about that. I'm like, can you imagine if my boss called me every single time I had to, like, teach a class? And, like, and then also I had, like, a bad attitude about going to go teach the class. Like,
well, and it's like, also, like, that's what the money is for, is saying thank you for doing the thing. Like, if you don't want the money, then don't do the thing, I guess. But, like, yeah.
So he makes the equivalent of like $6 a week. I give him 600 yen a week, which is not $6, but that's about here because he does not do that much. It's not that much I'm asking of him, right? So like you're not making that much. And then it's like, if you want to do more, you need to talk to me if you want to make more money, and we will find something for you to do. And I'll pay you to do those things, right?
Yeah,
and
if you're motivated enough, once you get all the other things done.
which he's not. And the and so there's that, right? But also like doing chores around the house and getting allowance is not like a Japanese idea. They don't really do that here. So, if he saves up, he can get stuff, but it's not even enough for him to do like a month of Game Pass Ultimate. For example, if he just didn't spend any money and was like, just do Game Pass, which that's not a bad deal, right, D? That's not a bad deal to do Game Pass Ultimate for your kid. instead of Allowance. Maybe I should ask him if he wants to do that, because then I can have Game Pass Ultimate.
That actually would be a really good idea.
And then I can stop.
Because then you benefit from it too.
Getting Allowance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I can stop getting Allowance. I'm going to talk to my wife. Now I'm totally derailed. I don't even remember where I was going with that point. Like, maybe I just got Game Pass Ultimate back. But the other thing is that like part of it too is like different hardware, right? If he had a Steam Deck like I do, which is expensive, this wouldn't be an issue because the games I'm buying he could play.
Right.
But which is how it's working with the Xbox situation. But he mostly plays on he still mostly plays on his Switch One. He prefers to play Fortnite on the Switch One than on his Xbox.
That's kind of wild.
Which blows my mind.
Is it the handheld aspect of it?
I think so, because my second oldest, he's never really played anything but the Switch, and he always gravitates. He just likes it. It's just like he's right there in his hand, and I don't know. It's
and
something
I think
about
another big thing is like the A and the B buttons are switched
in
the game,
too.
And Johnny is very used to that, which is one of the things that makes playing the Switch hard for me. Is that the A and the B buttons are switched?
Sure.
So technically, you could change that on the Xbox if you really wanted to.
Right, you could.
I've definitely changed my controls on the Switch, like whenever I play Super Smash or something, because I'm like, I'm not about this, and I always change my controls.
Well, so the Switch actually has an option now in settings, brief tangent, of like switching the A and B, but like all the button push like suggestions don't change because it's literally just switching those two buttons. And so you end up with the UI telling you the wrong buttons, which is really fun if you forget that you switched it. Yeah.
It's like, all right. Oh no. Especially if you're learning a new game and like, what?
But it makes I want to get should I get the Switch 2 for him? Should I get a Steam Deck for him? Like there's all of those kinds of things because the Switch, he also really loves Nintendo games. But also before we wrap up, I want to talk about, so I downloaded Cyberpunk onto my micro SD card for my Steam Deck. Yeah. And I ran it. It took a little bit to get it. It starts up. It launches with a launcher, which I didn't realize at first. I didn't feel like it took crazy long to start, but it definitely wasn't fast.
Yeah.
I had to create a character, and I honestly I didn't play for that long because it was just for a test, and I ran around and did a bunch of stuff. It held at. So it seemed, I guess, the game is verified Steam Deck on Steam. And there's actually Steam Deck settings in the set. I don't know if you see that on your ROG Ally. But on Steam Deck, when you're going through like Ultra, regular, whatever, one of them is Steam Deck. So the game did not look great. And it seemed to be on the Steam Deck settings locked to 30 frames per second. Like it wasn't going higher than that. But at the Steam Deck settings on the verified, I had no issues playing the game at all. It played totally fine. Granted, again, it was it's super
more like
a
Switch graphics, more.
Well, honestly, it was this. So I have an OLED Steam Deck, and it actually does have a very nice screen, and I could tell that it was really pared down as opposed to how I would play it on the Xbox or something like that. And I didn't try and boost it up because I knew I feel like for the sake of testing, it's fair to be does it run kind of a deal, right?
Right.
And because then the argument is, well, obviously you would rather play it on another console or something, but then it's but if you don't have another console, it does run. And also if you don't have another console, you don't have something to compare it to.
Yeah, you don't.
Right?
It's amazing what you can get used to when you just want to play something, we can definitely, push ourselves to things that we, again, if you don't have a comparison, you would just be fine with it. And then you would, it's like going from 720 to 1080, your first HD or whatever, HD screen or whatever.
Right.
You don't know that you're in the dark. You don't know that you're having a lot more of a grainy or the text that you're reading isn't up to scale to high definition until that first time. But once you do it, there's no going back. It's just it's almost impossible at that point.
But I would say, D, I think that Valve's operating system specifically gets love from developers. who want to attract people who are using like a Steam Deck and stuff like that. So going back to the Steam Machine discussion from last week, if they're looking to expand that, I mean, because in my mind, what that would be, I don't know that this is the case, it would just be an easier change, right? Because it would be more powerful. So like if you're already planning on getting it to the Steam Deck, it's definitely going to be able to be played on the Steam Machine, right? Kind of a deal.
Yeah, and a little bit about the Steam Machine
but again,
I read about this week was like, I mean, they're not gearing it like we were talking about last week. I mean, I think we're on point. I think they're gearing it more like in that middle ground to higher end, not quite to a like top end build, but it's going to be more towards that favor,
more towards high end than low end, I think. Well, I mean, 6x like a Steam Deck is pretty significant, but like, here's my thing though, is that like essentially what I would be curious about, and I don't know, is like you're playing on pretty pared down settings. If you played on higher settings, would it still be able to run off a micro SD? Because you're still kind of limited by like the speed of the USB, or not the speed of the card.
Micro SD.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with that comparison, I guess, would be that I would need to install it on the SSD first and run it and play
it. Yeah.
And or then like, move it to the micro SD and then run it and play it on those
what
settings.
I could do now that I think about it? If I got a micro SD, not a micro USB, micro SD card, like adapter for my PC, and plug that in, and then put my micro SD in that, and then try to game off that, that would probably be a more like, okay, can a micro SD handle this? Because like if you're running on pared down settings for like a lower, like a less powerful, like a handheld machine, essentially.
Yes,
like,
of course.
Yeah, like I mean, like I feel like that's gonna be difficult to tell whether
it's the handheld itself versus the SD card.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like I did do a little bit of looking at specs and everything, and the micro SD card I have is like probably like in the tier 2 group of like, I don't know, maybe like 5 tiers or whatever in terms of how good it is. Like it's pretty like up there, but like I know that I was having trouble with it before. I didn't try the Xbox full screen experience yet because I was in an insider program for that, and I just opted out of that insider program because they finally rolled it out to the regular. But I haven't gotten my system update to like actually revert back to that yet. So I'm waiting for that. But like I am curious, like whether running a game at higher specs would affect how it plays off a micro SD card. Because again, that's like my main concern, is the fact that they're like putting so much on like the idea of like being able to use that as the thing that you play games off of. Because like having noticed the disparity between, and again, maybe it was just like my handheld limiting it versus the micro SD card, but like having noticed that like some games don't run that well off it, like maybe my specs were too high just in general for my handheld to handle, maybe. Because I definitely did need to pare down some specs for certain games, even running off like the internal storage. But I'm curious how much a micro SD card can handle, I guess, in terms of that, like whether that is actually a feasible storage option with them touting it as such. Because like I don't like the idea of like them touting it as such when that's not been my experience. But again, my experience could be extremely biased because the only thing I've used micro SD cards for has been handhelds, essentially. Like Switch 2 basically is a handheld in most ways.
Right. But also, is it going to be a situation where they're saying that, but they're also expecting any of those games you'll install on the drive itself? Because, like, I mean, Steam is also full of games that don't pull that kind of power, right?
Well, and
most of the games on Steam aren't AAA games or quadruple A games or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great point. Yeah, they could just expect you to kind of like rotate games out, kind of like you do with like Xbox right now or other consoles. Yeah.
Or like, Cult of the Lamb is going to be on the micro SD card, but you're going to play Ghost of Yotei like installed on the device itself for it to
run. Or like if you get the 2 terabyte, like if you're really that worried about storage and playing a lot of AAA games, theoretically you would go for the 2 terabyte. But also, I would imagine that the price differentiation between the 2 terabyte and the 512 like megabyte or whatever, like I would imagine that the price differentiation will be like $100, $150. So, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? So not a hot take at all, just a very regular take. If storage matters to you, just pay the extra $100, $150 and get more storage.
No, that's fair.
Just do it. Just do it.
Or go to the trouble of like getting an SSD that you can install. I mean, when it comes down to it.
Well,
like,
I have a 1 terabyte iPad. I bit the bullet a little bit. I got a 1 terabyte iPad. I actually didn't bite the bullet. I bought like the previous generation. I felt it was still good enough spec and I could get like the higher storage because they were like just trying to move it out of the shelves, right?
Right.
I don't know that having the fact that I've never checked how full my iPad is, I can't go back. It's just great. Just do it. Just if that really matters to you, just get the higher memory option.
Now, my problem is I always run into memory issues, but that's because I save everything. Like I always have everything installed or whatever, and I save everything. Like even on like I literally have to pay an extra $3 to Google a month to like get the storage for like an email address that I don't even use really all that much anymore. Like it's just or like I have like essentially I do the same thing for Apple too, right? Like I have my like the Apple family plan or whatever because it has more storage, but then I also get an additional like terabyte of storage or whatever.
I feel like I'm in the middle. I do a pretty good job of deleting stuff, but I also like to keep stuff just in case, if I'm making content or something like that, it's nice to have it. But on that note, we need
one more thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Johnny, you and I have been nominated for the Friendo Year Endo.
See, Farm, David got nominated this year. He did it.
Oh, yeah.
He got nominated. Yep.
So
what are you under? What are you under?
I'm under Cozy, which I was like, okay I ain't sure. That's fine.
Guys, vote for David. Don't vote for me. This year, I have not really streamed. I've run my stream on Twitch as a radio stream, and I personally accepted the nomination, but because they were like, no, it's fine. I explained that to them. But I feel like I'm under the hobby streamer category. I feel like the other streamers like should actually get the votes. So don't vote for me. Unless you want, if you want to, you can vote for me. But I just want that to be out there.
You can say.
But I want that to be out there. That what I'm doing is zero effort. I'm just running it because I'm not able to stream right now. I would like to come back to streaming maybe next year, once my kids are in kindergarten. But until then, I've been doing this radio stream, and there are other streamers who work really hard, to like
and streaming's hard, just in general. Yeah.
And so, like, if you want to vote for them and not for me, I think that's like actually like probably a good thing. But also, I've never won, so if you guys want to like vote for me and landslide and let me win, that would also be fun. If I won this year when I haven't streamed at all and I've been nominated like 3 years in a row and I've never won and I was like working really hard, I'm actually going to be upset. You heard it here first. I'm actually going to be mad on this podcast.
Johnny mad? What? Nah.
Yeah, it's never happened. We do need to end because I need to go pick up my son from school. So, my son's standing out there in the rain. It's raining right now.
Yeah, you probably should do that.
You guys make sure to like and subscribe and do all those things and run some. You know what? For people listening, does anyone have any comments about like this micro SD storage thing? I actually find this to be an interesting topic that we're like revisiting this week. Like we revisited a couple weeks. If anyone has any insight on that, do let us know. And I will see you guys later. Bye. Get out of here, Craig.